Welcome ladies and gentlemen. Tonight I proudly present you a new Supercut Iceberg chart. This chart is about the most creepy Easter eggs found in your favorite games. This chart features 148 entries, so buckle up. The creator of the chart, Trainwrecker, said that this chart is organized by both obscurity and creepiness factor. I'm pretty sure you know how to support the channel, from simply liking the video or subscribing or joining my membership program on Patreon to get extra perks. By the way, I also added timestamps for you for each layer so you can watch the video in parts. I hope you prepare something to drink and snack. So, shall we dive in? But there is one small thing I wanna say before we start. I thank you so much for tuning in and I hope you will enjoy this video.
Layer 1 GTA 5 Prologue Alien.
Yes, my dear viewer, we are starting this list with the absolute classic Easter game from GTA 5. In the prologue mission, while visiting Ludendorff and North Yankton, underneath the train bridge is something you wanna check out. At first glance, it's just a frozen creek, but if you choose to drive down and look into the ice, you will see something weird. Under the ice lies a frozen alien. Additionally, you will see the same secret during the mission Bury the Hatch, and there are many more alien references in GTA 5 we will touch on later. This is just the tip of the iceberg.
Saints Row Suicide Hotline.
From a funny Easter egg, we immediately went to something more unsettling. So Saints Row 1 comes from the era where PDAs were all the rage in the games. PDA is short for Personal Digital Assistant. So as you walk the streets of Saints Row, you would often see bus stations. And on those bus stations are some ads about suicide prevention. And if you were curious enough, you could call one of those numbers up. After you try to call the number, this happens. Yes, this is quite morbid. I think this is just a sick joke. I mean, it's a suicide hotline advocating for suicide. That's not funny at all.
Doom John Romero's head.
Another well-known Easter egg. In Doom 2 final level MPA 30 Icon of Sin, there is a hidden Easter egg known as Romero's head. The Easter egg is basically John Romero's head impaled on a pole. To defeat the final boss, the player must target the head using a rocket launcher. You need at least 3 rockets to destroy it. Once it's gone, the level ends with a dramatic explosion and you can go under and you will see the head of John Romero, one of the founders of ID Software. I found out on a YouTube comment about a story how the co-workers of John wanted to reveal the secret after the game was released. John Romero found out about the Easter egg while using an ID clip cheat. So he went to Bobby Price and asked him to add a voice line, then lower it, pitch it and reverse it, so they can add it to the game.
Super Mario 3D Land Stage 4 for Ghost.
One more Easter egg we addressed at one point on my channel, and it's the infamous ghost in Super Mario 3D Land. Now, if you're eager to find it, let me explain how and where. Obviously we talk about the stage 4-4. And if the player stands on the short wall behind the goal pole facing the fence and waits for several seconds, a ghostly figure will appear slowly out of the background. Once enough time passes, it will unexpectedly open its mouth wide and flash, while fading out at the same time. The spirit closely resembles the 3 figures in Shiverburn Galaxy, another Easter egg we will cover in a few moments. Another fun fact is that the music played in this level is an arrangement of music that plays inside the mansion in the ghostly galaxy from Super Mario Galaxy.
The Sims 4 133021 Chick Street.
I love when we take a look at pretty normal games and find something sinister in it. A Sims 4 player discovered a mysterious and potentially eerie detail in an apartment within the game. While removing the carpet in a seemingly normal apartment in San Myshuno, they revealed a white body outline on the floor beneath a TV table. The apartment known as the 131321 Chick Street is known for its odd treats, such as being incredibly cheap and giving off a strange aroma. I mean, those are some red flags in my opinion. Just imagine buying an apartment where somebody was killed. This definitely brings no luck. This discovery gained some attention on Reddit. Some suggest it's a nod to a Friends episode, the one where Mr. Heckles dies, where a similar mystery surrounded a character's death. Because we didn't see any clear explanation about this, the Sims community is buzzing with theories over this cryptic detail.
Hell Valley Sky Trees.
Now let's talk about the three figures I mentioned a few minutes ago. Again, a very popular Easter egg. But you know how the Iceberg chart works. And maybe there are some people who are interested in some detailed look at certain subjects. In Super Mario Galaxy you can discover mysterious figures in the Shiverburn Galaxy, and later in the Grandmaster Galaxy of World S. These figures are tall, shadowy creatures with hole-like eyes which stand motionless atop of a mountain. Some say they resemble the ghosts from Super Mario 3D Land, but that's something I'll leave you to decide. They never interact with the player or other characters and can be only seen from one point in the level. The true nature of these enigmatic entities remains a subject of debate. Some speculate they could be Kodama, tree spirits from Japanese folklore, resembling the Hell Valley sky trees. Others suggest they may be skinwalkers or shadow people from Hell, which is definitely much more unsettling, especially as we are talking about a Mario game. Interestingly, a player named Gear Tacos delved into the game's files and uncovered texture files from these figures. These figures are part of a skybox and are significantly larger than Mario itself. The largest figure is over 100 times Mario's height. Just imagine that.
The Sims prank calls.
The Sims 1 was such a revolutionary game. It was so simple yet so addictingly fun, with an adorable soundtrack which I love to listen to this day, especially while editing these videos. Now Sims has its share of funny and wacky stuff out there, but also some creepy things. And with this entry we are diving into cryptic nature of the Sims. You see, you will receive from time to time prank calls in the Sims. Just to state, the prank calls exist in The Sims, Sims 3 Generations and Sims 4 Eco Lifestyle. From nostalgia reasons, I will stick to Sims 1. So you will receive prank calls like this. You have been chosen, they will come soon. Your psychic advisor had a strong vibration coming from your 7th house. You should stay away from any building activities during the next week. The drop-off has been made. The end is near. Make preparations. There are many more of course, but these are just a few to see in which direction they are going.
Star Fox out of this dimension.
Another classic Easter egg from a well-known game to every Nintendo fan. Not too creepy but still interesting. In Star Fox, reaching the out of dimension level is a quite unconventional adventure. To access it, you need to follow these steps. By completing Corneria on level 3, head to the level 3 asteroid belt. Destroy the second largest asteroid on the right and a hidden egg will emerge from the asteroid interior. The egg will briefly fly away, then hatch into a giant phoenix-like bird. Fly directly into the bird and enter the dimension. However, be warned, the level is filled with enemies and the background consistently distorts until you defeat the slot machine boss. The slot machine is an enigmatic AI. After defeating it, the background stabilized, but the level doesn't end. Instead, it continues indefinitely with scrolling credits. You can shoot at the letter of the end to flip them over, but they quickly reposition themselves due to the enemy attacks. Accessing this unusual path will result in an unofficial game over. It hints at the potential consequences of Fox's disappearance on Corneria.
Sonic CD sound test.
Like few more Sonic games, the 1993 Sonic CD possesses also a sound test mode in which can be found a very disturbing Easter egg, which could be accessed by pressing the following button sequence on the title screen: down, 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 left, right, A. Using the sound test, player could access a very disturbing Easter egg. Then you need to input 46, 12 and 25 into the sound test menu, and you will see a very disturbing image of Sonic. You will see some Japanese letters which translate to "Fun is infinitive" with Sega Enterprises, signed by Majin. Majin can be loosely translated from Japanese as demon or devil. Also, the Japanese and the European version have different signs of creepy music in the background. And a popular belief is that this is an anti-piracy screen, which isn't true.
Hall of Tortured Souls.
Well, this isn't exactly a game, but it is an Easter egg after all, and it would be a shame to not mention it. So everybody is familiar with the program Excel. In the version of Excel 95 for the Windows 95, there is an Easter egg called Hall of Tortured Souls, which sounds like a Doom level. To access this, you need to go down to the 95th row and select the whole row. Tab over to column B, go to Help, About, tap and hold Ctrl plus Alt plus Shift, then click on the Tech Support button, and then the game will appear. It is a hall where you can walk around and see the people who work on Excel 95, which are the tortured souls of Excel 95. Many speculate that this is somehow connected to a cult. Woohoo! We love some cult conspiracy theories.
Corrupt File Prank.
Here is a spoiler, and this is so great because I'm actually playing this game right now, but here it goes anyway. Detroit Becoming Human has a fourth wall breaking Easter egg for you. So you know that awkward looking android Chloe in the main menu? Yes, she's so unsettling for me, and I don't know why. Well, at one point in time she will tell you that your save file is corrupt.
Oops, I think your saved game is corrupted. Just kidding.
And that's it. Then she tells you it's just a joke. It's a small prank, nothing too clever or something like you would see in some MGS games. But still, it's a fun one.
Undiscovered Easter eggs.
I will keep this a bit shorter because this entry is basically 7 entries in one. This is about some Easter eggs we know about, but we are not sure how to get to them. So the link of the Iceberg chat leads us to a YouTube channel called Odd Header, in which he covers 7 Easter eggs that were never found. So let me explain you all 7 to you. First is Futurama for the PlayStation 2. There is an Easter egg that bothers the Futurama community. So basically in Futurama there is a huge Easter egg. I mean literally a Easter egg, and Slippy Slide, the YouTuber, made a camera mode to clip out to see the huge Easter egg. Why is it there? I don't know. And we don't know how to properly get there without clipping out of the walls. Fallout 4. In interview with Todd Howard, a man we love and adore, especially after Starfield, which is looking like a 2012 game, he stated there is something hidden in the terminals of Fallout 4. As there are like 1300 terminals, the research was quite interesting and hard, but Easter egg hunters just couldn't help it and dig out through the 1300 terminals to find something, but sadly they didn't find anything, and we don't know if this was just a prank by Todd. If we go to the bridge in the Metropolis city and zoom in with a sniper rifle, there is a writing on the wall which says Ayoh Boy. There is no explanation for who this is or why is he even credited there, but he also appears in the ad screen. The next one is Super Mario Bros. There is a soda company named Figo, which stated on their Twitter account that there is an Easter egg in the original Super Mario Bros. And this Easter egg was never found. Then we have Mario Fun with Numbers. There is also a fun discovery in this game. Apparently a pixel perfect discovery, because you need to press on a certain pixel in the game and it would trigger, to quote, "Our heads will pop up behind the bed and say hello, hello, hello," end quote. Destiny. During a live stream in 2016, the developer Derek Mantes stated, "Have they broken the code in the last exit yet?"
Have they broken the code in last exit yet? What? What? Nothing. Never. I've said too much.
This is still a mystery, and after many gamers tried to search every inch of the map and decode everything they found there, we still haven't found anything about it. And the last one is Advent Rising. The last of these 7 is a very infamous game which would award with $1 million the contest winner who finds every Easter egg in the game. Again, if you wanna see a more in-depth look into these things I just said, check out the video of Odd Header, which can be accessed through the Iceberg, which is down in the description.
Handprints.
Let's talk about the Easter egg in Captain Toad Treasure Tracker. So to find this Easter egg, first go to the bizarre doors of Boom Mansion. Now go back to the mansion and look on the back wall after 5 minutes. You will see that handprints will appear on the wall. I couldn't find much about this Easter egg and why are the handprints appearing out of nowhere, but here we go.
Pokemon X and I.
This is about a cryptic message. In Luminous Station, examining the back of the time board reveals a message that says, "I'm going to go for help, wait in the usual place." And then a nearby boy asks, "It should be someplace right around here, right?" What's the meaning behind this cryptic message? I don't know. Does it trigger something in the game? I also don't know.
Outlaws. Alien spacecraft.
For this Easter egg, you need to get your hands a bit dirty. Outlaws is a first-person shooter released in 1997 by LucasArts, using an enhanced version of the Jedi game engine first seen in Star Wars Dark Forces. It's one of the very few FPS games set in a Wild West settings, especially at that time. In the game you enter an old wooden toilet and after shooting it, you can enter the sewage canal and basically go to a hidden corridor that leads to a weird futuristic room in the middle of something that could only resemble a huge spaceship. After looking into the spaceship, you will see 2 aliens with saws and a cow, before the 3rd alien laughs in a high-pitched sound and closes the door in front of your nose.
Sims 2. Baba Yaga's hut.
If you install the Sims 2 Apartment Life, there is a secret hut located in the very corner of the town. The hut is based on Baba's Yaga home, which is a Russian fairy tale in which Baba Yaga lives in a house with chicken legs and she is in search for small children. It's often a fairy tale told to small children to scare them off to not go to the woods and similar stuff. To see the hut, you will need to fiddle with the camera a bit to get a glance of the house.
Daisy's third eye.
This is definitely creepy. Although not playable, the Super Mario character Princess Daisy does appear in Super Smash Bros. Daisy's third eye is a bug on Super Smash Bros. Melee, which can be found in the trophy room, right in the trophy section of the main menu. In the Japanese and early American versions of Super Smash Bros., viewing the princess trophy and zooming in reveals that Daisy possesses a disformed or misshaped third eye on the back of her head, which just looks hilarious, I think.
Minecraft. Removed Herobrine.
This one is beaten to death, I think. Do I really need to explain you who Herobrine is? He's a legend, a creepypasta, or a Easter egg. Herobrine was definitely a big deal a few years ago in Minecraft. Herobrine is a character who looks like your character Steve, but with white eyes which give him a haunting look. The first appearance was in August 2010. Herobrine would mostly stalk you and watch you from far away. There was a speculation that Notch, the creator of Minecraft, included Herobrine as a tribute to his dead brother. One user stated he saw Herobrine in the offline part of the game, where Herobrine dig tunnels and build pyramids. After the streamer Copeland Photoshop images of Herobrine in his streams, the popularity of Herobrine skyrocketed. The guys behind Minecraft loved this story so much that they used to put in things like Herobrine added in the changelogs of their pages to mess with the fanbase.
GTA 4. The Heart of Liberty City.
The Heart of Liberty City is a famous Easter egg in Grand Theft Auto 4, located in the Statue of Happiness. The Heart of Liberty City is a massive beating heart held by chains. It has arteries and veins connected to the statue exterior. Damaging causes it to spill blood, but it doesn't react any further. In the Ballad of Tony, Luis Fernando Lopez can wake up next to it if he passes out drunk. This is believed to be a joke to all the towns in games that starts with the heart of.
GTA 5. UFOs.
In GTA 5 there are plenty of alien and UFO Easter eggs all over the map. Some of them can be found underwater. Some will be above sandy shores, which can be only seen after completing 100% of the game. Once obtaining 100%, you can even take a chopper to the hippie camp where there are alien memorials and symbols throughout. If you fly high enough as you possibly can with the helicopter, you will eventually see the sandy shores UFO. If you parachute just below the UFO, you may notice a circular door open. Many believe after getting the jetpack you will be able to gain the access to the UFO.
Pokemon X and I, Ghost Girl.
Another weird Easter egg, which can be found in the Pokemon games. In Luminous City is a building. Upon entering the second floor, the music suddenly stops and the lights go briefly out. Then, suddenly, a blue-haired girl appears behind you. She appears to be gliding in air, because the character model doesn't have any walking animation. The girl glides by you, and before vanishing she says, "No, you're not the one." Rumors quickly spread that you have a certain trainer ID, the girl would give you a special item or a ghost Pokemon. And this is just a theory, because it wasn't proven yet.
COD Black Ops 2, Moving Teddy.
The mysterious box in the game moves after being used several times, and at the start of each game. If you get a teddy bear instead of a weapon, it refunds you points and relocates. Now there is a video provided by the creator of the chart which leads us to a channel known as VYTex, in which he clips through the wall and looks at the bear, and after a while the bear heads will move. But I couldn't find any reason why is the teddy bear moving. Maybe some of you know the answer.
Paper Mario, the 1000-Year Door, crime scene.
In the Japanese version of Paper Mario, the 1000-Year Door, there is a house in the back alley of the Rogue Sport main square, which originally had a toad-shaped chalk outline and dried blood on the floor. These signs of violence were removed in the US version. This is very unsettling because Paper Mario is still a kid's game after all. There is a whole conspiracy behind this entry, which we will look at some other time.
GTA San Andreas, Mass Grave.
We love San Andreas Easter eggs, don't we? The mass grave Easter egg, also known as the body bags, is a dugout filled with body bags located north of the Area 69 and southwest of the verdant Meadows aircraft graveyard in Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. The mass grave in San Andreas is a morbid site that features a deep hole. Nearby is also a Bobcat pickup truck. According to the game lore, Colonel Henry Bolt led a cavalry unit in an attempt to attack Las Barnacas in 1862, but fell into the hole before reaching the settlement. Some players linked this to the El Castillo del Diablo's mass grave, although there are discrepancies in the story, location and accuracy.
Far Cry 5, Pennywise Balloon.
Yes, you heard it right. Far Cry 5 has some Easter eggs connected to the cult classic Stephen King's It. Besides the usual cult activities you see in Far Cry 5, there are at least two direct references to Stephen King's It novel. The first reference is located east of the Corp Circle in John's region, where you can find a silver pipe with a red balloon hovering in front of it. The second reference is more elaborate. In Fate's region, northwest of Dead Man's River, players can visit O'Hara's haunted house. Completing the Prepper Stash mission leads to a haunted house filled with jump scares. At the end, players encounter another balloon along a cryptic note titled Clown Thoughts. The note obviously hints at a body stealing and the relentless pursuit of young victims. Pretty creepy, don't you think?
Life is Strange, Warner stalking Max.
Ending layer 1 with something a bit creepy. Warren usually comes off as a harmless guy which even helps Max during this game, but he's maybe a creep. At the start of Out of Time chapter, go over to the window and just for a second you will see Warren spying on Max. Why? Good question. I stumbled so many fan theories out there, it's just crazy. And I think there isn't any clear explanation, so I will stop it here. And let's move on to the next layer.
Layer 2, Silent Hill secret UFO ending.
Layer 2 starts with Silent Hill and its secret UFO ending. The UFO ending is an optional ending in the most Silent Hill games, with the exception of Silent Hill 4, The Room and Silent Hill Downpour. Each UFO ending involves aliens in some way. Also, each UFO ending is done in a theme of different styles depicting manga, black and white, comic style or drawing. Let's take a look at one of them. For this example, we are going to take a look at the original Silent Hill 1 for the PlayStation 1. When Harry Manson uses the channeling stones, which is found in the convenience store on the top of the lighthouse, a group of UFOs are seen in the sky. As the UFOs land, the cutscene changes style to a roughly animated picture show. Henry was definitely confused by the strange events that unfold, but he asked the aliens if they have seen his daughter, but is zapped and brought into their UFO. The UFO take off and the credits will roll.
Maniac Mansion. Hamster in a microwave.
Maniac Mansion is a 1987 graphic adventure video game developed by Lucasfilm Games. It follows a teenage protagonist named Dave Miller as he attempts to rescue his girlfriend Sandy Pants from a mad scientist. Now you see what the entry names indicates. Yes, you can actually take a hamster and walk to the kitchen and put him in a microwave. I don't know who first discovered this Easter egg, but go talk to somebody, please. Also, the DOS version of the game has a bit more blood than the NES version.
GTA 5 Underwater UFO.
Another more known Easter egg in GTA 5 involves an underwater UFO which we mentioned in the last layer. This was possibly the ship which the frozen aliens used to get to Los Santos. Nevertheless, you can dive in with scuba gear near the northern part of the map, and in the ocean you will see the UFO resting on the seafloor. Just go to the most north tip of the map and take a dive and see the UFO for yourself. Let's move on.
MK9 Crypt Monster.
The Crypt Monster is an ogre-like creature found in the Crypt section of Mortal Kombat 2011. It randomly pops up for 1 second, screaming at the player before disappearing. But before appearing, you can hear his footsteps, usually getting louder before his appearance. There is no explanation for why is this creature in the game, and also it isn't 3D animated either. It is probably just there to scare the player, and it pops up randomly.
Bioshock Infinite Reversed Audio.
Bioshock Infinite features hidden dialogue in its possession vigor, both in the scene where the players first encounter the stuff and when it's used to possess enemies. Give me my Romeo, and when I shall die, take him and cut him out in little stars. Come gentle night, come loving black broad night. This is the part of the reverse audio clip that can be found in Bioshock Infinite, which is from Romeo and Juliet Act 3 Scene 2.
Halo 3 The Caveman.
The Monkey People legend is a mysterious tale connected to the popular 2007 first-person shooter Halo 3. Cavemen make appearances during the game's Sierra 117 level, so there are 3 Easter eggs to talk about here. The first encounter with the Monkey People occurs shortly after Sergeant Major Johnson reports the downing of his vehicle. As players navigate the terrain, you can go to the left and climb over the imposing rocks, and then you can stumble upon a family of 4 monkey people. The second encounter takes place later in the level when the players rescue Sergeant Major Johnson, and a long monkey person lurks on a small cliff, which can be only observed through binoculars or a sniper rifle scope. And the third and final is in the crook of a tree. The shadow obscures the monkey person, rendering as a vague silhouette.
The Darkness Mysterious Phone Calls.
If you didn't know about this game, then you should immediately look it up. The game has some mixed reviews, but it's actually quite good. Now to the Easter eggs. At one point in the game you can walk up to a telephone and Jackie can pick it up and hear some biblical references. And the reference goes like this.
Even in darkness, light dawns for the upright.
But there are a few more references, and this one is the absolute highlight in my opinion.
Welcome to the Emergency Call Center. For personal assistance, press 1. If you're on fire, press 2. If someone is trying to stab you, press 3. If someone is already stabbing you, press 4. If you've been stabbed and you're currently bleeding to death, press 5. If you are stabbing someone, press 6. For everything else, press 7. Thank you and have a nice day.
Goat Simulator Cemetery.
Now, Goat Simulator is a quite popular game that I never bothered to play. Don't ask, I don't know why. But we need to talk about one certain level that can be accessed in the game, and that's the cemetery, which is located in the Goat City Bay. The area around the cemetery modifies the view to make everything look with a blue and white tint. Inside are a number of graves, many of which are labeled as pet, which may be a reference to the Pet Cemetery book by Stephen King. A single human appears to be crying behind a tree, and also the cemetery is a home to the slender goat.
Marvelous Bridge Ghost.
We just can't get away from ghosts in Pokemon games. You see, on the Marvelous Bridge you will find a ghost. Some speculate either she has a Abra, which used teleportation on her, or she is a ghost type Pokemon in disguise. This isn't a glitch either, as the guy next to her asks you, "Huh, what? Did she just disappeared?" Some think she was a ghost of a girl who fell off of the bridge or went missing when she crossed the bridge, and has been haunting the bridge ever since.
Code World at War Dentist Chair.
This is about a very unsettling Easter egg. In the left spam room containing Juggernog that can be activated on the wheel attached to the side of the chair. Upon activation, a drill will be heard and a former patient screaming in agony. It can really scare you if you don't know about the Easter egg. Also, activating the chair on Call of Duty Zombies will award you with the Open Wide achievement.
Fable 2 A Winter Lodge.
A demon door obsessed with music, and not even the classic old Kingdom Horn symphonies. At least he won't get to her much all the way out in Bloodstone. The Fairfax Gardens demon door. Well, this isn't so much as a Easter egg, but rather just a puzzle you need to solve. But anyway, the Winter Lodge is in the realm of Albion and can be accessed through the Bloodstone demon door. Upon entering the area, the hero arrives on a beautiful snow-covered path bordered by tall pine trees. A soft snow falls, and although it is nighttime, a dim glow is cast over the area by series of lanterns. But after entering, the atmosphere switches drastically. Everything becomes very dark and ominous. Also, the cottage looks very abandoned on the inside. Your reward for visiting this place is a Master Longsword.
Battlefield 5 Gnomes.
I hope you're not afraid of gnomes, because there is a little scary gnome hidden as an Easter egg in Battlefield 5 on Ara's location. His location is different each time, but after you find him and destroy him, the hunt begins. His eye starts to glow red and he will look at you with a dead stare. And of course, he starts to stalk you. Every time you respawn, he will be there. So be prepared, because we are all gnomed.
Assassin's Creed 2 Giant Squid.
In the book, it was written as an unholy creature swimming in the dark, deep and bottomless water. I really love things like this which fuel my nightmares, and I am not definitely the biggest fan of huge underwater creatures, but I think this would be a great Iceberg chart to dive in to talk about all the mysterious things hidden in the deep ocean. So to see this classic Easter egg, you will need to go to Assassin Tomb. If you make Ezio look into the water near the first level for 1 minute, a cutscene will show you a large squid swimming by. If Ezio is made to look down again, a second cutscene shows a tentacle coming out the water and nearly hitting Ezio.
Minecraft Disc 14 Spectrogram.
This was quite new for me. Now, if you take Disc 14 from Minecraft and use a spectrogram, you will see that the sound reveals a creeper's face in a spectrogram. A quite nice Easter egg in my opinion.
Fatal Frame Screensavers.
Fatal Frame is a well-known horror game series, which I still need to explore a bit more, but the prices of the copies are just insanely high. But we are here to talk about an Easter egg you can find in these classic horror games. Leaving any of the first 3 games idle for about 5 minutes will result that a scary screensaver will appear, simply because the game did get annoyed with you for leaving it for a few minutes alone.
World of Warcraft, Gold Cheers Children.
The next one is an Easter egg in the game World of Warcraft. The town of Goldshire is the first town the player will encounter if they choose human as their avatar's race. Near this small forest town is a lake called Crystal Lake, and near the lake is what appears to be a normal empty house. The children of Goldshire, commonly known as Creepy Goldshire Children, are a group of 6 children. They walk on the path from Goldshire to Stormwind City together. The children are known for the fact that they go into the empty house, 2nd floor, and form a pentagram pattern, remaining silent and unmoving. And if I'm correct, they are actually references to the Blizzard Entertainment employees.
Original Xbox dashboard sounds.
I love to see hidden features in consoles, and this entry is just about that. So let's take a look at the original Xbox. Microsoft explains that those creepy ambient noises were public domain audio from NASA transmissions from the Apollo days that they were tweaked for this sound. They wanted to make the console sound like a sci-fi machine by adding an element of otherworldly sound for those who just let the console sit a bit too long. And also these clips were randomly played.
GTA Vice City, Chains of Apartment.
This one, let me tell you, I am one of those who love Vice City more than everything, despite never beating it. I know it sounds crazy. I just loved as a kid to drive around and listen to 80s music, especially V-Rock. And I stumbled upon a weird apartment with a chainsaw in it, which is the Easter egg we are going to talk about. The apartment plays no role in the storyline in the finished version of GTA Vice City, but it was originally going to be a safe house that was gained by killing the owner of the apartment in the mission given by mafia boss Sonny Forelli. But I mean, come on, it's an obvious Scarface reference. It's clear as day. I mean, if you didn't see Scarface, the only question I can ask, why haven't you started already? In the apartment there are bags filled with sugar, and the scene is about a sugar deal going horribly wrong. The chainsaw and the bloodstains are also a clear homage to the film, especially the scenes where Tony's Montana friend Angel Fernandez is killed by a chainsaw in the bathtub.
Assassin's Creed 4, Giant Squid.
Ooh, another squid Easter egg. It can be seen by floating near the window of a shipwreck while using the diving belt at Antocha. You will see a short cutscene of 2 oceanic titans battling outside the window. That squid basically represents the Kraken, or a giant squid monster. Back in the 16th and 17th centuries, when pirates told stories or even claimed to see these monster squids consume a whole whale.
Sims 3, Kraken.
Really? Another Kraken? The Kraken lives in the ocean in the Sims 3 Island Paradise. The Kraken doesn't appear often, but if a Sim stays in a small boat too long, there is a 4% chance of seeing it. If a Sims has the Friend of a Kraken lifetime reward, they can even click on the idling boat aside from the houseboat and select Release the Kraken. The Kraken will attack the boat shortly after. Once it is done, the Kraken will require rest time before you can command it again.
Sniper Jump Scare.
Here is a small Easter egg how you can scare a friend. There is a neat little jump scare which you can access if you have a sniper rifle in zombie mode and aim outside of, then suddenly a face will appear and scream at you. But remember, this is just a one-time thing you can experience.
Skyrim, Sovngrad statues.
Is a quite unsettling Easter egg. So you saw the big statues in Sovngrad. They behave similarly to the weeping angels in Witcher 3, but that's an Easter egg for another entry. So the statues will turn towards you when you're not looking at, which can be quite creepy for the first time you've seen it. It's like those pictures which are always looking directly at you, no matter where you stand, but in this case the statues are really moving.
Payday 2, which
In Payday 2 No Mercy, there is a heist that takes place in a Mercy Hospital, a location from Left 4 Dead game series. It's exclusive to the PC version and it was released on July 26, 2012 as the part of patch 11. The heist contains a few Left 4 Dead references. When the power is cut, there is a chance that a witch from Left 4 Dead will make a brief appearance behind a locked closet door in the hallway near the reception desk. When stared at for too long, she will scream and jump at the player who disturbed her. So please leave the witch alone.
Fear, Alma flashback.
There are many frightening moments in Fear, and the game is an absolute classic in my opinion. Now to the Alma flashback. Right after you get to the mission, meet up with Jankowski, go to the first double doors and start opening and closing the second ones, that ones were blocked by a table. The screen will start to flicker and keep opening and closing the doors after that for a few minutes, and the door and table will disappear and Alma will be standing inside. Not only you will see Alma, but if you continue towards the double doors you will hear a child scream, "I hate you, Daddy." It must be Alma when her father decided to turn her into experiment. And definitely that little girl was the highlight of the game, besides the awesome gameplay.
Half-Life, G-Man sightings.
The right man in the wrong place can make all the difference in the world, is a quote from a famous guy known as G-Man. Do you think G-Man deserves a separate video? I recently bought the whole Half-Life series on Steam for a few bucks and I'm planning to replay all the games actually. But I also covered like 5 Half-Life games on my channel before. But back to the G-Man. The G-Man is first seen along the Sector C line, standing in an electric tram frozen on the track opposing the tram that the Freeman is traveling on during the Half-Life introduction sequence. After that, we will encounter him in every sequel. The G-Man's identity and motives remain unexplained. The G-Man is stalking various people and yet at times it seems that only the player can see him. However, a few characters other than Gordon Freeman seem to be aware of his existence or have interacted with him.
Don't touch anything, 3D 666.
Don't Touch Anything is a cryptic, button-pushing puzzle game that can be found on Steam. There are 30 different endings to explore and one of them is a bit creepy. There is a somewhat secret ending in the game where if you press a certain button, take the hammer, break the hour and push the arrows to 666, blood will start to appear and dripping from the screen in front of you. But that's not all, because a demon will appear behind you to scare you.
Haunted Labo House.
Nintendo Labo is a Toys to Life concept developed by Nintendo and released in April 2018. You probably know that game. It's the game where you can fiddle with all sorts of toys to interact in the game. But there is a thing which is quite unusual. Because this is a kids game, you wouldn't expect anything sinister going on. A few different events can be triggered upon going to sleep, and one of them is a bit creepy. And perhaps some children will find this a bit unsettling. I mean, there is a dark snake starting to appear, there are spiders starting to crawl around, and a card king showed up. I think this would be perfect night for review for me as a kid, especially the king, because he just paints so unnaturally.
World of Warcraft, Kraken.
A Kraken prey lair makes Snorky happy. What is with all the squids on the list? Simply, they're creepy and we are on a hunt for scary things. And this Kraken can be seen at this location showed on the screen, so I don't butcher the name. And after blowing the horn, he will appear and you will see him in the depths looking at you with glowing eyes. It almost looks like a Cthulhu monster at first glance.
Bioshock Infinitive, Dead Bodies.
Back to Bioshock. To be more precise, burial at the sea level. There is a theory going on around for a couple of years that the dead bodies found in the water in episode 2 of Burial Sea are the dead bodies of Elizabeth. Some think that one of the bodies seems to resemble Daisy Fitzroy. Another theory was that the dead bodies were from the plane crash from the first game, but this can't be right due to the fact that Burial at the Sea DLC takes place before any events in the first Bioshock game. But also there is a theory that the dead bodies may be corpses of people like Booker and Elizabeth encountered in Columbia.
Manhunt 2 Club Jumpscare.
Manhunt is a well-known franchise from Rockstar, and we all know how Rockstar loves to put many Easter eggs in their games. Well, Manhunt 2 is no exception. There is a jump scare Easter egg hidden in Manhunt 2 when you arrive into this city and go to the adult district, where you can look at girls of the night, where you can take a look at the window and see ladies of the night dancing in there. But after looking a few of them, one would suddenly explode and suddenly your dead wife would appear, but just for a few seconds before disappearing in thin air. Ugh, creepy.
Wizard 101 Face in the Void.
Wizard 101 was released in 2008 and it's a MMORPG game crafted by King's Isle Entertainment. Within this enchanting world, players step into the shoes of young wizard students that are tasked to preserving the spiral, the imaginative universe in which the game unfolds. So in a place called Mushu, if you take a look at the dark void, you will see a strange face looking back at you, with an unsettling, creepy facial expression.
Man-Bat Jump Scare.
I guess that Batman doesn't need any introduction, so here's a little jump scare for you. The side quest is called Creature of the Night. Oh, Creatures of the Night, what music they make. Is a reference from a book. State them down below if you know of which book I'm talking about. The side quest is all about Batman trying to apprehend Man-Bat, so you will need to hunt down Man-Bat of the sky and get a blood sample from him. But in the hunt for him, it will trigger a very scary cutscene where the Man-Bat attacks actually Batman, and Batman almost slips off the building.
Witcher 3 Ghost Ship.
Legend tells of Redanian crew from generations past who underneath a treasure so great they become forever destined to argue amongst themselves on how to divide their spoils. I recently completed Witcher 3 and even visited every location in the game and definitely had a blast playing this game. But I didn't stumble upon this ship. The Flying Redanian is a legendary ghost ship that, at least since 1216, haunts the sea between Kindrasfjall and Arskellig at night, often past 1 AM in the game time. The ghostly blue transparent ship turns up precisely once each day before submerging before the surface. Some also believe it is a reference to the Flying Dutchman.
Chloe's Dream Journal.
In Chloe's dream sequence, you will come across various journal entries and text messages. However, there is one particular discovery that deserves our attention. In the second dream sequence, Chloe journal reveals a striking drawing. It portrays Max suspended from an old tree at Overlook Park, looking identical to her appearance in Life is Strange. A vision of her 3 years in the future. In this depiction, there is also a butterfly gracefully fluttering near the tree, mostly like a homage to the iconic blue butterfly from Life is Strange. Notably, there is a mysterious date carved into the tree, possibly MC 1.26.09, with MC presumably representing Max Caulfield. This intruding drawing is cataloged in the game file as A1_S09_OBET, hinting that it may symbolize Max's obituary, a report often in a newspaper, chronicling someone's passing and recounting their life story. I'm not sure if I covered this right, and if any of you are fans of this game, please fill the blanks for me. Thank you.
Layer 3 Skyrim Headless Horseman.
Let's dive a bit more into Skyrim. The Headless Horseman is a headless specter of a warrior who can be seen riding around Skyrim on his ghostly steed at night. or staying at the Humvee's rest during the day. The Headless Horseman will randomly spawn anywhere in the world between 10 PM and 4 AM. He wields an iron battle axe and wears a steel plate armor. The Horseman performs no action and cannot be harmed, so you don't need to run away from him even if he is a bit scary. The Headless Horseman is also not connected to any quests.
3 AM alien message.
Well, once more, we have a kid-friendly game on the list, and it includes a spooky Easter egg that includes aliens. Animal Crossing New Horizons has a hidden show broadcasting from inside the game. Now, where and how? First, the alien is a supporting character in the movie. Do not butcher the name, you have it on the screen. And the alien also appears as a secret in New Leaf and New Horizons. You can see him talking gibberish on a broadcast which is only accessible on Saturdays and occurs for 1 minute at 3:33 AM. I mean, of course it's 3:33. Then the static TV will reveal a clearly image of an alien figure who appears to be talking, and then it will proceed to show you an image of a UFO.
GTA Vice City. Cement shows.
Another Vice City Easter egg, which is unsettling like the previous one we covered. So you can find 2 submerged men in dried cement in the river near Washington Beach and between Leaf Links and downtown. This unsettling scene likely points to the mafia's brutal methods of punishment and murder, as they use cement shoes to dispose of victims in the 20th century. Ken Rosenberg's comment during the final mission, "Keep your friends close," about the Fornelli crime family coming to fit him with cement shoes suggests their involvement in the crime. Theories surrounding this eerie discovery include references to the Vice City Mafia, especially the Forelli crime family, and connection to the infamous disappearance of Jimmy Hoffa, who was rumored to have met a similar fate with Concrete. Some also speculate one of the cemented individuals may be Ricardo Diaz, although this is unlikely due to his early appearance in the game. At the end, while this dark Easter egg adds a layer of mystery to the game, it remains a chilling testament of the criminal underbelly of Vice City.
Runner 2 Slenderman.
Now, Runner 2 is a rhythm music platform game. This little game features something quite chilling. In one level, if you have a better look, you will find something quite unusual in the background. None other than Slenderman, just chilling in the background like some grim stalker he is.
Doom 3 Mirror Jump Scare.
Now, Doom 3 is quite weird, and some would say it's not a proper sequel to the original Doom games. The game definitely stands out in the franchise, but mostly because of its horror factor. I was definitely too young while playing this game, and the infamous mirror jump scare was just ugh. There isn't much to it. Simply walk into the toilet room and looking at the mirror will trigger a cutscene you won't forget so easily.
The UAC is here to help you. Psychological services are free and confidential.
GTA 5 Mineshaft Body.
The abandoned mineshaft is an old mineshaft entrance and a mythical location located in the Great Chaparral in Grand Theft Auto 5, which upon entering you can find something interesting. You can stumble upon a dead body of a man wearing a classic 1940s suit. There is also a film reel. The body is of an animated cartoon maker named Isaac, who Fred Quincy killed because he may know a secret. The body under the water could be his wife or a friend who may also knew his secret. Also, a fun fact, this may be a reference to the 2009 slasher film My Bloody Valentine. The killer in the film, a miner named Harry Borden, kills all 7 of his core workers after they become trapped in the mine. It's a movie I would recommend if you're into slasher movies. It's quite good.
Pokemon Ghost Girl.
Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire have their own ghost girls, because Pokemon games just can't get enough of them. After you decide to tackle the Elite Four, one of the trainers you will fight is named Phoebe. Like every member of the Elite Four, Phoebe uses certain type of Pokemon, and in this case she uses ghost type Pokemons. Also, her section of the game is a bit ghost themed. Upon talking with her, on the right side just for a second a girl will appear and disappear. Very mysterious, am I right? What is even more weirder is that the next camera angle is clearly from the same position where the ghost girl was, and it appears like the camera is slowly walking towards the player. I need to pay close attention next time I boot up Alpha Sapphire on my 2DS.
Plants vs. Zombies, Slenderman.
The Slenderman was definitely everywhere a decade ago. You couldn't just escape Slenderman. So many games put him as a small Easter egg in their games. Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare was no exception. He can be found in a Zombos estate. If you play the map, you need to go behind the castle and you will be able to see him deep in the woods, just standing there and looking at you.
Hitman 2, Moving Mannequin.
We have another entry about a possessed doll in a game. To find it, you need to access the game's Miami level, head to the aquarium, and above the shark exhibit you will see in the red hallway a dummy with the sign "Live Exercise in Progress." Use your sniper rifle and you will see that the text has been messily altered to read "Live Exorcism in Progress." You will quickly see how the limbs of the dummy start to move. After a few seconds the dummy will disappear, but there is a reason why. That's because if you turn around you will find it standing directly behind you. Yes, a doll entry with a jump scare.
Yumeniki, Ubo Event.
We have a RPG Maker game, so I lied a bit in the beginning, I guess. In Yumeniki, the rare Uboa event occurs when you turn off the light in the Poniko house with a 1/64 chance of happening. This event replaces Poniko with Uboa and transforms the room with eerie changes, including bizarre facial features on the furniture, unsettling background music and a flashing screen. Uboa itself appears as a shadowy figure with a white oval resembling a Noah theater mask, conveying a mix of emotions. After the interaction, you are transported to Uboa's trap in the White Desert, a surreal area with a fluid-like landscape. Escaping this dream world by waking up or using the Meda Madu effect, Uboa adds a mysterious and eerie element to Yumeniki's dream exploration. Remember, if you're into surreal games, there is a surreal chart waiting for you desperately just to be viewed.
Black Ops 3, Mannequin Zombies.
Did you know about this little feature in Black Ops 3? Well, if you played Nuketown, you probably saw these android-looking mannequins. Well, if you shoot their heads off, which is not violent at all, they will take revenge upon you. But you need to wipe out all the mannequins in the map. They will then start walking and running in a zombie fashion and try to hunt you down. Be aware because there are many of them.
Witcher 3, Weeping Angels.
Did you know that there is a reference of Doctor Who's Weeping Angels, which are known for their ability to move when unobserved? Because I didn't watch Doctor Who, I didn't get the reference, but it was unsettling. To uncover this Easter egg, you need to go to the cemetery near Lindenvale. After you complete the quest of killing the monster there, the statues in front of the small church suddenly would change position and ominously face Geralt upon re-entering. The same thing like the statues in Skyrim.
Sanctum of the Rat statues.
Dead by Daylight is horrifying, but it also has a creepy Easter egg in it. There is one similar to the previous entry. So as we already talking about turning statues, why not to look the Sanctum of the Rat statues? Sanctum of Rat, or Shrine, is one of two maps in Yamaoko Estate realm. Like the previous entry, the statues will slightly move every time you're not looking at them. The sad thing is, I didn't find is there any particular reason for that. So maybe it's also a Doctor Who's reference, but I'm not quite sure.
Game Boy Camera pop-ups.
The Game Boy Camera was a revolutionary piece of technology when it first hit the shelves in 1998, and every gamer wanted one probably. Heck, I think still many gamers would love to have a Game Boy with a camera in a good shape. Slap on a great LCD screen with a backlight and you can enjoy your old games in a new light. Pun intended. But let's talk about the add-on for the Game Boy. The camera and the printer. I mean, it was unthinkable at the time. But we need to switch the focus to the weird game included. The game would have a menu options included, which lead to a eerie JRPG-like screen, which would have options like items, magic and run. Choosing run reveals a distorted face. I mean, they're pretty weird looking, especially for a toy for kids. Now get this, I found a creepypasta about it and I just love how insane the story is. The unsettling photos are believed to depict the work of a sinister cult involved in kidnapping. The one with the black star is thought to be the cult leader, while the veil symbol depicts the disciples. The last face, devoid of symbols and with a dark smile, represents the unfortunate victim. How these pictures made their way into the game remains a mystery, and the cult motives and the victim's fate are unclear, as no corresponding body has ever been found. I know this isn't a list about creepypastas, but I just couldn't resist it to not include it, so here we have it.
Gmod, Big City Jump Scare.
So let's talk about the Gmod with the name Big City. If you decide to go to the Baltic Cafe, there is an unpleasant surprise hidden for you there. It's a jump scare, which can caught you pretty off guard, because the only thing you need to do is to interact with the door. Not even open it, just interact in it, just trying to open it. It would trigger a loud scream. I don't know if the door is screaming at you or something behind the door, but it is a surprise, and I mean, who would expect that?
Jolene's Ghost.
So, you wanna hear a ghost story? Then let's talk about Jolene's ghost and her sad fate. Jolene is a ghost that can be found in GTA 5 and GTA Online. The story of Jolene goes like this. She married a guy named John Cranley, known as Jock. He wanted to pursue his dreams of becoming a stuntman by leaving Black County. However, Jolie didn't want to leave. She wanted to stay and take care of her parents and run a small-time business. And that made Jock angry because he wanted to risk it all to follow his dreams. One night, as they both were near El Gordo Lighthouse, Jock planned the whole evening out and persuaded Jolie to go to the for a romantic walk. Then he pushed her off the cliff. John wasn't convicted as her death was labeled as an accident. Because of that, Jolie didn't find any rest in her afterlife and she haunts the cliff of Mount Gordo. There is a large rock with the word Jock written on it with blood near the top of the mountain in the game. Between the times of 11 PM and midnight in the game, you can go to the rock and see a ghostly woman near the cliff.
Mausoleum Suit Audio.
If you didn't know, there are a total of 5 reversed messages in the Halo series. 1 in Halo 2, 1 in Halo 2 Anniversary, and 3 in Halo 3. The message we are going to take a look now is from Halo 2 Anniversary Edition. The message is included in the track Cryptic Whisper, the remastered version of the Destroyer's invocation. So if you reverse the clip, it says, "We squander eons in the darkness, while the seas are..." This is the reference to the speech in the epilogue of Half-Life 4.
Just Cause 2, Smoke Monster.
Just Cause 1 was a banger back in the day. I just love to explore the island settings, and Just Cause 2 continues in similar fashion. But there is something quite scary hidden in one of the islands in the game. Hantu Island is located at the northwest corner of the map. And get this, the whole island is a lost reference, which I found just amazing. You will encounter the smoke monster, a guy that should represent Mr. Echo sort of, and anything you fly, or even if you're on a boat, will catch on fire and crash almost immediately after you enter the island. Then it will start to rain. There is also a crashed airplane located near the beach. I mean, Lost was such an amazing TV show, and I love how Just Cause made an Easter egg like this. But also the 2 last seasons of Lost were kind of crap in my opinion. They went overboard with the time traveler. And one more thing I need to mention, because I think it's a great time, is the Minecraft recreation of the Lost Island. If you love Minecraft and you love Lost, try to download the map, it's absolutely crazy.
MGS5 radio messages.
MGS is a masterpiece, there is no other way to put it. But in this entry we need to shift the focus on another game, which sadly never saw the light of day. The game is none other than PT. PT is short for Playable Teaser and is a psychological horror game developed by Kojima Productions, and it served as an interactive teaser for the game Silent Hill. Of course, Hideo sprinkled some Easter eggs in MGS5. So when playing PT, you probably notice a radio broadcast of a news report about some grisly series of murders. MGS5 actually plays this exact report in the Mission 20. As you're wandering through the mist in the Namja Industrial Zone, you will find a tent with a radio airing this broadcast while a haunting melody plays in the background.
Canyon Quest Ascension.
Oh, I feel some cult activities. And you? Well, I said there are a few indie titles on this list, and this is also one of them. Canyon Quest 3030 is a role-playing video game published on July 22, 2013. Just to state, this game was unlicensed and unauthorized by the music artist Canyon West. It was created in the RPG Maker by the artist Clara Hope. The best way to describe this game is that Canyon Quest is like a Pokemon game, where you catch rappers, let's say, and every of them has their special move and abilities. In 2015, an article revealed that if the player typed the word Ascend into a dialog box with an NPC, the player would be taken to a secret section of the game. In this secret section, the game would claim that the rest of the game's contents were a front for this area, which is claimed to be the real game. Basically, you would get a QR code that leads you to a site where you need to type in your data. Then you will get a contact by a group of people who call themselves Ascensionism. What's that, you ask? Well, Ascensionism has been described as a cult that believes in reincarnation, and this game was a way to recruit more members. So this is a Easter egg mixed with an urban legend.
Silent Hill 4 Robbie the Rabbit.
Again, many don't have Silent Hill 4 in high regard, and because I only play for a bit Silent Hill 1 and Homecoming, and I think Origins, I missed out on the two most important ones, and that's the second and the third. But again, if we take a look at Silent Hill 4 as a standalone game, I made a whole video about this, so let's talk about the Robbie the Rabbit. Like I said in the video, you being locked up in your room, looking out like a creep, what is happening around you makes you really paranoid. And this is the point we are going to touch on the Easter egg. After discovering the hole in your living room, you could peep to see your neighbor Elaine Galvin in her bedroom with a rabbit on her bed. After peeping 3 times in a row, for whatever reason, you will see that the rabbit sitting on the bed suddenly turns his head towards you with a judging look.
Zombie Mounts Reversed.
This is a pretty well-known Easter egg for everyone who played Half-Life 2. So for you who aren't familiar with Half-Life, there are zombies in the game. So why are there zombies in the game? Perhaps you ask. It is a result of a headcrab attaching to a head of a human and taking control of its victim body, and renders them as headcrabs or necrotic as they are referred by the Combine Overwatch. Now, when you first see a zombie in Half-Life, it can be a bit scary. They do have an unsettling appearance, but this entry focuses on the weird and scary moans of the zombies. If you reverse them, you will hear zombies are basically begging for help in agony. This is likely due to the fact that the head doesn't kill the host of the brain but rather hijacks it. And maybe these screams do indicate that some part of the victim's brain is actually still present, which is the most horrible thing about Half-Life 2, I think.
Ghost Voices.
In the map Sanctuary in Modern Warfare 3, there are a few disturbing flashbacks you can hear. The voices you will hear are straight from the campaign of the game, to be precise, the London mission. All of these sound tapes are taken from the Davis Family Vacation, in which you play as Mr. Davis, who is recording his family in London. As he's recording, a truck pulls up and about 3 seconds later it explodes, and a chemical is released all over London. Some of the flashbacks will be the screams of your wife and child.
Resident Evil 4, The Lago Monster.
Let's take a look at the lake monster. But this time it isn't a squid, but it's still scary. If you decide to shoot the lake near the Spanish village for whatever reason, the creature Del Lago will say hello. Del Lag is from Spanish and literally translates to from the lake. The creature is a massive Plaga-infected amphibian. Del Lago is an early Plaga experiment by Los Iluminados, as they infected a salamander, causing to mutate and grow significantly larger. It sustained itself by consuming dead corpses, witnessed by Leo when Ganados tossed a police officer's body into the lake.
Battlefield 4, Ghost Voices.
I have a new cryptic message for you. And if you understand Morse code, even better, then you can help me out. In Battlefield 4, in the underground tunnel on the map Anensha Strike, there is a mysterious door with a security camera next to it that strangely locks onto you and starts to beep. Anyway, the camera will start to follow you, and after standing in front of the camera long enough, ghost voices will say, "Leave this place, stay away, get out."
The Boy That Turned Into a Lake.
This is about a sad Easter egg of how people of the village San Ignacio de Moxos, and excuse me if I butcher that, have a story of a local woman who one day went to the swamp to wash her clothes. All the men were fishing that day, and her young boy decided to help his mother. As he walked into the swamp to help her, he disappeared and was nowhere to be found. Shortly, the swamp would turn into a beautiful lake full of fish and clean water. Also, the boy can be seen hiding in the bushes, and I guess he's a ghost because of the story.
Did I Scare You?
It's time that I try Doki Doki Literature Club. I mean, I already covered a few things about the game. So, did I scare you? What is it about? During Act 3, if the player has OBS or some similar capturing program running in the background during the part when Monica says the player's PC name, instead of that dialogue appearing, she will notice that she's being recorded. And it's not nice to record people without their knowledge. Then Monica suddenly screams with a sinister laugh and asks you if she scared you. And the answer is probably yes.
Zombie Army 4, Dolls.
Zombie Army 4 Dead War is a third-person shooter video game developed and published by Rebellion Developments. It is a sequel to the 2015 compilation game Zombie Army Trilogy, and if you didn't know, it is a spin-off of the Sniper Elite series. So in the fourth installment of Zombie Army, you can find a set of dolls in the game, hidden in various spots, and it definitely gives a eerie vibe to the game. The dolls haven't any purpose, they would sometimes just disappear and sometimes you can destroy them. Other than that, they are just a little creepy Easter egg.
Pokemon Diamond and Pearl, Old Chateau.
Are you ready for a Pokemon Go story? We had a few of them in this layer, so let me introduce you to the Old Chateau. It is an abandoned old Japanese forest manor near the exit of the Eterna forest. We also need to address the spooky game music, which can really give you the chills. There is a little ghost girl that appears one room next to yours before moving towards the exit. This only happens when entering a specific room, as the girl is tied to the room's map. After that, you can clip through walls and where shenanigans start to unfold.
Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, Old Chateau.
Let's immediately address the Old Chateau in Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. It is again home to eerie ghostly apparitions, including a little girl and an old butler. You will see those specters floating off screen when spotted. which definitely leaves you puzzled about their whereabouts and backstory. Additionally, in one of the rooms you will find a painting with glowing red eyes that vanish as you approach. Also, note that the hauntings only occur at night. Sadly, like the ghost girl we covered, there isn't any backstory here, at least I didn't find any about it. But I found that Rotom, a unique Pokemon that can change form and types by inhibiting various machines, can also be encountered in the old Shadow. It's a one-time chance to catch this electric ghost type Pokemon, find interacting with a TV in a specific room. Upon capture or defeated, players receive the old Shadow secret key, allowing access to the Rotom room in the Galactic Eternal building.
Yakuza 6 Ghost Photos.
Let's talk about one of my favorite series out there. Yes, I'm a huge Yakuza fan, but I'm still fighting with the series because of lack of time. But I finished a few of them already. So, to the ghost photos in Yakuza 6. It is said that relentless spirits sometimes haunt Kamurocho, and as you wander the huge city, you may find photos of acquaintances long past littering the street. Once you find such a photo, their spirit will be triggered, and you are able to find them through the lens of your camera. Interesting, am I right? So to trigger the ghost to appear, first you have to find the character's photo. Once you do that, stand in the area and pull out your phone, take a picture, and you'll get an image of that character. Also, this is just an Easter egg and it doesn't have anything to do with the completion of the game.
Life is Strange Before the Storm reversed audio.
So let's take a look back at Life is Strange. A series that seems quite interesting, but I sadly never played it. And after doing some research, it seems quite interesting. Now, we need to talk about the reversed audio in Before the Storm. So the creators of the game hid many messages in the audio. To hear this Easter egg, you need to obviously reverse the audio and clean it up a bit. There are many of these sprinkled throughout the game. One of those is, "I always miss him when I look down, and I don't know what to do with it." This is about Chloe losing her father. One more is, "She left, she left, she left." This points out how her friend Max left her at the worst possible moment. If you want to check them out, they are all provided on the Iceberg chart, which will link you to a video which includes all of them.
Night of Consumers Hidden Room.
Did we cover this game on the Surreal chart? It looks somewhat familiar, but I think it wasn't on the list. Why didn't somebody suggest this game? Because it looks crazy. So, it's your first day on the job and the store is closing in a matter of minutes. The consumers, with their unrelenting thirst from consumer service, are still prowling the aisles and there are shelves still to be stocked up. So let's talk about the hidden room where you need to use a box, go to the back room and you can use the box to break the wall. Then you will find a skeleton in there which was counting his last days with writings on the wall, but there is also a message that makes you question everything. It says, "Don't trust your manager."
Animal Crossing Gyroid Phase.
And the last entry this layer is again from Animal Crossing for the old GameCube. I hope you don't know about this one, because it's definitely creepy. What a surprise, I know. So if you take the train to another player's town and take out the CD or turn off the console and then start it up again, you would lose all your items in the inventory at a time and their avatar's face will be replaced with that one of a gyroid statue, complete with empty eye sockets and gaping circular mouth. Also, I need to state this is not a glitch but intentional Easter egg by Nintendo. The gyroid face serves as a hint to the talking gyroid at their hometown to save progress to prevent this. Of course, this spawned many creepypastas over the years, and one of them being that the character died on the train.
Layer 4. Hitman Contracts Ghost in the Mirror.
Starting the layer 4 with our favorite stealth bald guy out there, Agent 47. So let's take a better look at Hitman Contracts from 2004. There is something odd you can discover in the game. There is a ghost in the mission Traditions of the Trade. It seems not to be an angry ghost, as it only stares at you. But if you stare at it for too long, it will disappear. To find him, From the hotel entrance, turn right, go through the door, pick the lock on the next one when nobody's watching, and you can catch a glimpse of the ghost in the corridor. But get this, the ghost can be killed and its corpse dragged. However, the guards will notice you dragging a ghost corpse and they will attack you. Another easter egg for you: if you have the HD remaster of the Hitman trilogy, if you kill the ghost, you will get the achievement Ghostbuster.
Golden Freddy jump scare.
It's obvious you would have at least one Five Nights at Freddy's easter egg. I mean, we are still talking about creepy easter eggs here. To get this, you would need to go under custom night, then you need to select the difficulty to 1987 and the Golden Freddy jump scare would be triggered. From my understanding, the 1987 reference was never meant to mean anything. There was a rumor that putting this number would unlock a secret ending, so they threw it in the game to scare everyone who tried.
Taiko no Tatsujin.
Or The Masters of Drum is a series of games created by Namco. In the games, you're playing a taiko drum in time with music, so it's basically a rhythm-based game. The game has also very cryptic audio message or music, however you want it, featured in the game. Now this is a bit against the chart rules, but anyway, deep within the files of the game, there is a hidden song called inaccessible to regular players because you need to rip off everything from the CD to find it. It's a disturbing mix of footsteps, screams, and a remix of Wrath of Requiem and eerie laughter, followed by song rewinding. And it also gives you hints for a teaser about Taiko DS3 for those who delve into the game's code.
Black and White 2 Whispers.
Black and White 2 was a game I spent so many hours as a kid because I loved to play RTS games. Everything from Age of Empires, Red Alert, Rise of Nations, and of course Black and White 2 was amongst them. A cool easter egg that can catch you off guard is that the game can see your username of the PC and it would whisper it in game. Just imagine playing the game at night and suddenly it whispers your name. But sadly my name wasn't on the list, so I had luck, I guess.
Mila's Secret Room.
So this game sits for 2 months I guess on my PC and it's just waiting for me to get some extra time to try it out. I heard so much good stuff about this game. For those who didn't know, Psychonauts is a 2005 platformer game set in a retro futuristic version of the year 1982. Psychonauts follows Raz, a young boy gifted with psychic abilities. The easter egg is about Mila's secret room, which can be found at Mila's dance party level. The secret room gives us a little story of Mila's past, where she worked at an orphanage that burned down. That's quite morbid. In the secret room you will hear the nightmares screaming, "Save us, why didn't you help us?" Fun fact I found out, while they were programming this level there was a glitch in the audio, so if you got close enough it would trigger the audio and it would be played everywhere in the room. The guy who discovered this bug didn't know about this room beforehand. Also the poor guy discovered it in like 4 AM.
Doom Original Soundtrack Spectrograms.
Let's talk about Doom 16, such an awesome game. And everyone who played the new Doom game or is in metal probably familiar with the mastermind behind the music, none other than Mike Gordon. Well, he hid something a bit interesting in the soundtrack. Well, it's very obvious. If you put the original soundtrack into a spectrogram, you will discover pentagrams and 666 references. Plus a huge shout out to the bassist from the Static X, also rest in peace Wayne. And I actually own the Doom soundtrack on vinyl. It's just freaking awesome, especially the blood red vinyls.
The Crew Bigfoot.
The Crew is an open world racing game and the developers hid a few creepy things in the game. One of those things is an 8-foot tall Bigfoot which can be found at any time of the day in the Northern Cascades east of Seattle. Sadly there isn't much to talk about here, he just wanders around. So let's jump to the next entry.
Graveyard Wallpaper.
We need again to talk about Animal Crossing. The graveyard wall is a wallpaper in Animal Crossing New Horizons introduced in the 2.0 free update. A player had found a creepy ghostly figure in the graveyard wall wallpaper. They shared a video on Reddit revealing how the ghostly figure appears to move closer as the room's light changes. I love how Animal Crossing has such Easter eggs sprinkled throughout the game, and this is not the last Animal Crossing Easter egg.
Sleeping dogs. Ghost.
How many of you remember the True Crime series? I mean, I played a lot of True Crimes New York City, and Sleeping Dogs was sort of a sequel to that game, but much better. Now let's address the Easter egg in the game. On the street Jiangxi, you can find a restaurant named Golden Koi, where you can find two ghosts. One of them is just sitting there while the other stands beside him. After a closer inspection, you realize that the two ghosts belong to Jackie Ma and Winston.
Call of Duty Finest Hour. Ghost Room.
Finest Hour is, although based on the original Call of Duty for PC, it has a different storyline and acts as a side story to the main game. Also, a thing I need to mention is the music, composed by Michael Giacchino, who previously worked on the original Medal of Honor franchise. Well, sorry about that. Let's talk about the scary ghost room. So you can find a ghost room in the underground passage level. To access it, throw 2 grenades at a seemingly unopenable door. Then throw one more to blow it open. Inside you will discover many scary things. Candles will float in mid-air, and there is no ceiling. In the room you will also find a cradle. Upon approaching it, a young ghostly boy appears, but he doesn't react to the player. The room is also filled with many strange pictures, and there is even an oversized rat in the cage under the stairs.
Omori Mirror Jump Scare.
Omori is a game I covered in the Disturbing Iceberg chart, where I dive a bit more into why the game is so disturbing. In the game, you will stumble upon mirrors, which are a recurring motif featured in Omori. They usually appear floating around the colorful areas of headspace. In the real world, they can only be inspected within a house bathroom, but on rare occasions there is a 5% chance that inspecting a mirror in headspace will trigger a distorted jump scare only after defeating Pluto. This Easter egg applies to any floating mirror found throughout headspace, and it can happen on any road.
Layers of Fear. Ojua board.
Layers of Fear is a psychological horror adventure game developed by Blobber Team. It was released in 2016. Layers of Fear features an event who is only available at Halloween time every year. You will know that the event is in effect because a new drawing will appear at the entry of the house when starting the game. It tells a story about children who find a spirit board in the basement. Should you follow this lead and head into the basement, they will find that the back door room, which is normally locked, is now open. Using the audio board, you can use it to write various words for fun to watch fun effects to take place. However, certain words will grant you the access of the rest of the story pages.
The Crew. World Ending.
I said that the Crew had few more cards up his sleeve, and this one is definitely weirder and not so fun like the last one. If you go to the north side of Texas, you can go a bit off-road and there is a chance you will find an abandoned car, which isn't something groundbreaking, but after looking around you will also discover a body with a flying note that the world is ending. So I can only guess that this guy fled from the city to the countryside and then committed suicide to escape the end. Sadly, this Easter egg can also serve as a warning that you don't believe everything the media says. Oh, fake media reports sounds like a fun thing to dive in.
Undertale Gastor.
Beware of the man who speaks in his hands. Let's dive into the amazing world of Undertale. The chart sent us to the Undertale wiki page about Gastor. So, who is he? Gastor is a mysterious character in Undertale, formerly the royal scientist responsible for creating the core. He disappeared under cryptic circumstances. Various Roman assets hint his appearance, but he doesn't have an officially known form. Room 269 features a figure believed to be Gastor, who appeared black and white with a cracked face. The room can be only accessed with a specific fun value. Room 264 contains an entry in upper text that appears to be a missing lab entry. The text hints at an experiment gone wrong and references to darkness growing. The relationship with other characters like Goner Kid, Gaster followers, and Sans suggests connections and mysteries related to Gaster's role in game's lore. Various unused rooms and assets like the room 272 and a stable further deepen the mysterious surroundings of Gaster. Gaster remains one of Undertale's most mysterious characters, with much of his story left to speculation.
Cry of Fear 911 call.
Cry of Fear is a survival horror game developed by the independent Swedish studio team. The name you see on the screen, do not butcher it. It was originally a mod for Half-Life 2 in 2012. It was released then as a standalone product the following year. As I already said, Cry of Fear is something special, definitely worth experiencing. While playing the game, you may already know you have a Sony Ericsson mobile phone and you can actually use it. What surprise! While playing the game, maybe you thought to yourself to call 911 so they can get you out of this mess. After dialing up 911, you will hear some screams. The screams can be connected to Simon's screams when his body was removed from the car wreckage during the Black Day.
Death Stranding. Shower Ghost.
Death Stranding, or the Amazon Prime Delivery Simulator, is quite an interesting game. There is only two options. Either you love it or you hate it. And if you know the whole theory behind Hideo Kojima MGS5 PT, then you're definitely looking at Death Stranding in a different light. But we need to address the director's cut of the game, because it included a few things that the base game didn't. Now, the games feature a PT reference. The director's cut features a new dream sequence with a mysterious figure in the shower, reminiscent of PT style. As you wake up, you're greeted with a shadowy-like figure in the shower. Also, did you know the theory that Death Stranding is based on Hideo Kojima life, sort of? And I leave it at that.
Bioshock Infinitive. Hidden Music.
We already talked about some hidden messages in Bioshock, but we have some more. This entry leads us to the fourth map of the game, where you will hear, after getting the shield from Lutes, a cryptic song. But if you decide to speed up the song to almost 1000%, you will hear sentences. For example, time for me to drown, to live, or time finally will catch up to me. If you want to check the other hidden messages, the chart provides a link which is in the description.
Animal Crossing. Haunted Paintings.
Layer 5 is finishing with another Animal Crossing entry. In Animal Crossing New Horizons, Jolly Red sells both authentic and fake art. Some fake art is haunted, but authentic pieces are never haunted. Haunted art reveals its haunting features from dusk until dawn. As of now, we know about 5 haunted pieces. The fake Vistul painting, which closes her eyes, a fake informative statue with a faint glow, a scary painting with a creepy smile, a graceful painting, and a fake ancient statue. Haunted pieces cannot be displayed in museums, sold to the nooks, or gifted, but they can be buried and make your island haunted. But this may lower your island rating, so let's go to the next layer.
Layer 5. Slender the Arrival. Secret Level.
Layer 5 starts with a Slender game. As you probably guessed, the Slender game can't use Slenderman as an easter egg like other games we covered on the list. Also, if you didn't know, the Slender Arrival is a fully realized commercial version of Slender the 8 Pages. But you wanna hear about the secret level. Well, to access the secret level, you will first do a few steps. First, grab a flashlight, turn on the radio, exit the house, run towards the Charles Matheson Jr. poster. On the first try, I should keep an eye out. On the second try, an explosion of static will happen, putting you back to the menu. Then click on Start Game and then the secret level shall engage. If you choose to do the secret level and you complete it, the entire game gets stuffed up and you can't play anymore.
Red Dead Redemption 2 UFO Encounters.
We covered so much GTA stuff on the chart, but it's time that we dive into Red Dead Redemption, because the link of the entry sent me to a page with few Easter eggs. I will address them as a whole. In Red Dead Redemption 2, there are many hidden mysteries and eerie occurrences beneath the surface of the game. You will explore many bizarre and supernatural phenomena. For example, you can discover abandoned shacks with skeletons, a cult leader message about a voyage throughout time and galaxies, and an eerie UFO sighting at 2 AM. Red Dead Redemption 2 continues Rockstar tradition of incorporating mysteries, as we already covered in Grand Theft Auto 5. There are many things we can investigate in Red Dead Redemption 2, and I promise you we will dive into each of them later.
The Stanley Parable Airport Man.
The Stanley Parable is a game I will ask you kindly to check out. I only watched some gameplay and I was really amazed how good the game is. So, Airport Man, who is he? The Watching Man, also known as the Airport Man, is a mysterious character. He can be spotted in specific endings, such as the No Buckets ending and the bucket version of the elevator ending. Little is known about him, and it's unclear if he works at the company. To encounter the Watching Man, specific requirements must be met. In the No Bucket ending, players must answer all questions correctly. In the number 3 ending, he can also be seen during the elevator ride to the press conference. More fun facts: the character model of the Watchman is labeled as A-Man-002 in the game files, originally named Airport Man. Also, the Watching Man was discovered in a trailer for the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. Some players have confused the Watching Man with another secret character, which is a Stanley lookalike seen in an office window, although there is no apparent connection between them.
Red Dead Redemption Strange Man.
Let's talk about the Strange Man. The Strange Man is a mysterious character found in Red Dead Redemption and makes an appearance in the sequel. He possesses knowledge about John Marston's past, including his involvement with the Van der Linde gang. In the sequel, an abandoned shack is in Biowa NVA is linked to the Strange Man, featuring a cryptic writing related to Armadillo, Herbert and Herbert Moon, and to the cholera outbreak in New Austin. Arthur Morgan finds an unfinished painting of the Strange Man in the shack, while John Marston later completes it and encounters the Strange Man in the mirror. In Red Dead Redemption, the Strange Man is the focus of the side mission I Know You. He interacts with John in a cryptic and mysterious manner, posing moral dilemmas and making vague comments. Appearance-wise, the Strange Man wears a black two-piece suit with a top hat and has a well-maintained mustache and pale skin, and he does often speak in cryptic phrases.
Dear Esther Ghosts.
Dear Esther is an adventure game developed and published by the Chinese Room. It was originally released in 2012, featuring a minimalistic gameplay, and your only objective in the game is to explore an unnamed island in the Hebrides, Scotland, listening to a troubled man reading a series of letters to his deceased wife. The Chinese Room released a spiritual successor to Dear Esther, titled Everybody's Gone to the Rapture, in 2015. I played this game upon release, but I having only vague memories about it. But let's address the ghosts in the game. Ghostly figures are occasionally visible while wandering the island, with some more difficult to spot than others. They appear randomly on fixed spots in the game and are believed to be representatives of any of the 5 characters in the story.
Portal 2 Redman's Den.
Portal 2 Redman's Den is a mysterious part you can find in Portal 2. Doug Redman, also named as simply the Redman, is a secret and a Easter egg, we can say. Redman does not appear in-game in any form. Instead, he leaves paintings and murals which can be found throughout the backstage of various testing chambers in Portal and the single-player campaign of Portal 2. He is a scientist who survived the neurotoxic attack, which killed the rest of his team. He spends his day writing and making graffiti. Over time, he slowly lost his sanity and his schizophrenia completely took him over. Besides his reference in the game, there is also a comic about him that shows us more about his world. This is a quite nice rabbit hole to dive in if you're into Portal and you didn't know about this.
Splatoon. Disturbing boss sounds.
let's look at disturbing sounds that can be found in the game Splatoon. The file name is listed on the screen. These sounds will be played after you defeat a boss in Splatoon single-player campaign. Apparently the sounds are coming from a deep sea metro, as you can hear train noises and people screaming. Sadly, I found only theories about this sound, but I didn't find any clear explanation.
Yumeniki Monoko event.
Let's dive another time into Yumeniki and let's talk about the Monoko event. The Monoko is a character found in the White Dresser A. Monochromatic appearance. She appears to be associated with a traffic incident theme in the game. When the spotlight effect is used near her, she undergoes a transformation with unsettling features. Monoko is often grouped with Mono, collectively referred to as Mono Sisters, by the fans, suggesting there is a possibly sisterly connection there. This transformation may symbolize the aftermath of a vehicle-related accident in Madazuki's real-life experiences.
Splatoon 2 Giggling Statues.
Splatoon 2 features giggling statues in their game. The statues can be found in the Museum de Alfonso. I don't know what to say more, just go near them and sometimes you will hear them laughing. There isn't any much context here besides that.
Escape from the Colosseum. Jump scare.
Who remembers the Scooby-Doo movie from 2002? The action movie, I mean. The movie was actually quite good, let's say. It has many adult references sprinkled throughout. I don't know, it was funny, but let me hear your thoughts.
Hey, I can look at myself naked.
So, because of the movie, they actually made a follow-up game called the Escape from the Colosseum, also known as Scooby-Doo 2 Monsters Unleashed Escape from the Colosseum. It's a point-and-click adventure flash game that was also promotional tie-in for the 2004 live-action movie Scooby-Doo 2 Monsters Unleashed, originally posted on the official movie website in 2004. But the game also spread to other Flash websites. Some of the things you can encounter in the game are a bit scary, but we need to be honest, the game is kinda meh. It's not really that good. And whose idea was to put this in a child's game?
Yumeniki Face.
The face event, known as the Red King by Japanese fans, occurs when Madazuki opens the door at the top of the stairway in Number World. It can only be accessed through a specific zipper tile, which has occasionally an unhappy expression. Opening the door results in a disturbing animation with a face-like mask and a rushing sound, lasting around 10 seconds. Madazuki wakes up afterward, similar to the nightmare. An interpretation of this is, what I have found online, suggests that the face represents why Madazuki avoids leaving her room in the real life, possibly due to trauma or fear. Others see it as a reminder of her dreaming state, promoting her to wake up. Some theories link it to a body imagery or phallic symbolism, with a zipper and nearby-like phallic-like creature contributing to this interpretation. Another idea is that the face represents an exaggerated interpretation of someone's face, possibly Madazuki's own, reflecting uncertainty about her physical appearance.
Dream Daddy Escape from Margaret Zone.
Do you feel some cult activities again? This is about the game Dream Daddy released on Steam. It's a game where you are dead and you wanna try to romance other dads. But the game has a sinister ending. There is a secret cult ending for the character Joseph. This was later cut due to unknown reasons. The cult endings gives you a look at Joseph's true nature and it's pretty creepy. Currently the only way to access this is to download files from a dedicated group of guys on Discord who managed to recover the files and unlock the ending. But always be cautious before downloading content from unknown sources.
A Hat in Time Monster Noises.
A Hat in Time is a platform game developed by a Danish studio called Gears for Breakfast. The game was developed using the Unreal Engine 3 and founded throughout a Kickstarter campaign. which nearly doubled its fundraising goals within its first 2 days. The game was self-published in October 2017. There is an Easter egg in the game that happens to you when you spend more than 20 minutes in the Heads Kid room. Stay long enough and some disturbing sounds will play. It's almost sounding like something is wailing in agony.
Whispering in the forests.
We already know that Red Dead Redemption has many Easter eggs. One of them is hidden Sound of Brandy Wine Drop, Roanoke Valley. Once you enter this area, you will hear something whispering. The whispers belong to Ethel Boshard and Eugene Hutton, a young couple who got lost in the woods of Annesburg. If you watch some theaters in the game, you can watch a show titled The Ghastly Serenade, which narrates the sad story of this young couple. While courting each other in the same forest, they got lost and stumbled upon what seems to be a dead army of British soldiers. Eugene's head was cut off by a ghostly soldier, and Ethel, running in fright, returned home with Eugene's head in her hands. When she told the story to the villagers, nobody believed her and instead accused her of witchcraft and burned her alive on a stake.
D-Day Moloch.
D-Day, developed by Digital Reality and released in 2004 to coincide with the 60th anniversary of the Normandy landings, has a very ominous Easter egg. You can find the Easter egg in Chapter 1, Saint Mere Eglis. If you find a church and you zoom in, you will hear this. I know this sounds something like from a Silent Hill game, but if you decide for whatever reason, blow up the church, you will find 5 mysterious glowing red orbs. And if you light them up in the correct order, which is of course in the order to form a pentagram, you will unleash a monster called Moloch to help you in your quest to conquer everything. Also, Moloch is a name or a term that appears in the Hebrew Bible several times, primarily in the books of Leviticus. The Bible strongly condemns practices that are associated with Moloch, because the practices included child sacrifice. Yep, let's move on to the next entry.
Celeste. Mirror Temple Audio Reversed.
Celeste is a critically acclaimed platform game created by Extremely OK Games. The game follows a young woman named Madeline as she climbs the somewhat magical Celeste mountain, facing opposition from both the mountain's natural obstacles and from within herself. Sadly, I didn't play the game, but I spoiled myself many things because I watched some reviews, and this game hits differently. But let's address the Mirror Temple reversed audio. The music in the Mirror Temple is actually played backwards in the game while you're inside the mirror. There is also a secret message where you can hear Madeline talking about her feelings. From 2 minutes and 30 seconds to 5 minutes, in the track in the mirror, some whisperings can be heard. It's a reverse speech with a feminine voice, much likely from Madeline, describing how she feels about things and her train of thoughts.
Red Dead Redemption 2 Vampire Encounter.
The vampire known as the Saint Denis Vampire is a minor character and Easter egg in Red Dead Redemption 2. To find him, you must discover 5 mysterious writings in Saint Denis, which directs you to the vampire's location, in an alley south of the cathedral, accessible around midnight. In the game, the vampire is depicted as a bloodthirsty being, attacking everyone who approaches him. He has a distinct appearance with bold, pale skin, bat-like ears and sharp teeth. I mean, you know what vampires look like.
You're a goddamn idiot.
If you defeat him, you can obtain his Orient dagger among other items.
Infra Tunnel B2.
Did you hear about the game Infra? Infra is a first-person adventure game developed by Loist Interactive. In the game Infra, Mark Siltanen, a structural analyst, becomes trapped underground after causing a water tunnel collapse. While surveying the Hammer Valley Dam, he uncovers a city-wide conspiracy and must prevent a nuclear meltdown. There is a hidden tunnel which you can access, which will lead you to a scary discovery where you can meet Marco, a in-game boogeyman sort of. It's in the part where you need to escape a collapsing tunnel, but there is actually another way to get out, which leads you to the enter of the tunnel B2, and then this happens.
Layer 6. GTA 5, The Infinity Killer.
Layer 6 again starts with a GTA 5 Easter egg. It's about a morbid story of Merle Abrahams, known as the Infinity Killer. The Infinity Killer in Grand Theft Auto 5 was born in 1947 with a birthplace unknown. He lived in Sandy Shores but developed severe psychosis, fixed on the number 8. In 1999, he murdered 8 joggers. He was arrested and he was in the Boulevard Penitentiary. His Sandy Shore home was set later on fire, possibly by a neighbor. Abraham died in 2004 at the age of 57. He never confessed for his crime, but he admitted he was obsessed with the number 8. The bodies of the victims were never found. Clues about Abraham's murder are scattered throughout San Andreas, often written on walls. His abandoned house is filled with cryptic messages emphasizing the number 8. Nearby, a rock features a disturbing nursery rhyme, and the prison has enigmatic messages hinting at a victim's burial site near Mount Chiliad. Also, you can find a nearby rock with very disturbing rhymes, and also in the prison there are some messages which are very mysterious and are probably hitting at the victim's burial site near Mount Chiliad. Other eerie discoveries include bloody footprints at the Yellow Jack-in, 8 corpses underwater near Mount Chiliad, and a mysterious black box near fire pits. There is also a newspaper clipping from December 2004 detailing Abraham's death and the Infinity murders.
Saints Row 2 Screaming.
In Saints Row 2, at the back door of a house in Morningwood Cemetery from 11 p.m. to 4 a.m, an audio of what seems to be a man torturing someone with a circular saw can be heard. Also, the quote for the man was, "You broke my table saw," which is both hilarious and horrifying at the same time.
Ghost of Agnes Dowd.
Are you ready for another grim story from Red Dead 2? According to the cries of her spectral form, Agnes fell in love with a man that her parents did not approve of. She would meet him by an old tree in Blue Water Marsh for secret meetings. After she got pregnant with a baby boy, the man abandons her for another woman, exposing her relationship to her family. The family felt disgrace, and the result was she was unwanted by other males. This ultimately resolved in Elder's Dawn drawing a weapon and killing her love to Agnes' horror. The cause and conclusion of this violent confrontation are unknown. Thought it is implied that because of this event, Agnes had a mental breakdown and murdered her father in revenge, and possibly her mother, son and others, before finally hanging herself by a tree she used to meet with her love, hoping he will find her there in death. A simple tombstone bearing her name, age and alleged crime stands among others in the Shady Valley private graveyard. Agnes can be seen as a ghost in Blue Water Marsh between 9 p.m. and 3 a.m, usually during foggy weather.
Our tree. Come to our tree.
Saints Row 4 Screaming.
We're looking again at some screams we can find in Saints Row. For that, we need to look at the virus upload mission, where in New Colvin you can stumble upon someone screaming like they are being tortured. I did try to find out more about the screaming, but sadly there is no explanation of why.
Outlast 2 Reversed Audio.
All the distorted audio logs from the school footage collectibles contain hidden messages when playing backwards, and we saw many hidden messages throughout this chart. Each visit to the Nightmare School features video footage recording as a collectible marked by a red circle. Unlike other recordings, those taken during the school sequences result in static and weird audio. Reversing the audio will reveal disturbing messages and backstory details. The messages include references to religious themes, violence and narrator's perspective on events of the game. Also, the messages help you to uncover some game secret and stories.
Hitman 3 NPCs Substance.
Well, the title is quite self-explanatory. So these instances include characters like Jeff in The Landslide, a gardener in Hokkaido, Hector Delgado, Jeremy Bolt in Carlisle. The suicide was presented in different ways, and I think they're trying to be comical and absurd, but that's a hot topic I don't want to touch with a 10-foot pole. The suicide of Alexa Carsill witnessed during a common mission was particularly shocking. Some even consider that suicides in game are going a bit too far, considering the sensitive nature of the subject. So let's take one for example. Let's talk about the character Jeff. In Bangkok bonus mission, a man is arguing with his girlfriend in a bathroom. He gives her choice between being with him or the cult. She chooses the cult and players can choose to kill her. If the player kills the girlfriend, Jeff reappears in the Sapienza bonus mission. He can be found on a bench outside the safe house with a note beside him. The note mentions his missing girlfriend and he's thinking about jumping off a cliff. Surprisingly, the suicide Jeff survives the fall and returns to the Hokkaido mission or Patient Zero. He's in what was previously John Portman's room with a note addressed to his deceased girlfriend. The note in Hokkaido mentions having something on him and being ready to use it if anything happens, but no specific outcome is triggered when trying to infect him with the virus. I will stop it here. There is of course more to this and to the other NPCs we can encounter in Hitman 3, but again, some of the entries really deserve a proper video to explain everything and to dissect the situation.
Resident Evil 7 Demo Mia.
Looking at Resident Evil 7, it was definitely a game changer because it changed the view perspective, and this is my favorite Resident game because it really sucked me in to be more interested in the series as a whole. But I have a whole video about that. Well, we need to talk about Mia, which can be found in the demo version of the game. She will haunt you through the demo, but with you not really knowing it. It's not a direct jump scare, it is more subtle. She will show up on 7 different places in the background. So the thing is, the Iceberg chart says it's Mia, but for whatever reason, everywhere I looked, people talk about the ghost lady as Evelyn in her early stages of rapid aging. Maybe when the sewer gators were killed, she was an adult, and this is her watching, figuring out whether she can use these intruders as family members.
No More Heroes, Jean's backstory.
No More Heroes is an interesting title. This Easter egg is about the backstory of Jean. She's a 25-year-old American assassin and Travis Touchdown's child love interest. And actually he's also his half-sister. Her surname is also unknown. And she's also a first-ranked assassin after killing Death Star. She has a pretty grim background as her father molested her, which caused her mother to commit suicide. She resolved to prostitute and she decided to learn martial arts in an attempt to seek revenge. She's also killed Travis' parents in front of him, and like I said, it's later revealed that she is Travis' half-sister. A climatic battle happened between Jane and Travis, with Jane using her dangerous martial arts skill. Despite a close call where Jane almost kills Travis, he ultimately defeats her with the assistance of Shinbo. In the game's true ending, Sylvia Crystal has a young daughter named Jean, hinting at a connection between them. And also one more thing, Jean's character and her relationship with Travis and the Darkstar may be a reference to Star Wars.
Red Dead Redemption 2 Sonny.
And we will finish the layer 7 with another Red Dead 2 entry. Sonny is a character in Red Dead Redemption 2 who resides in a house northwest of St. Denis, near the swampy region of Lakai. His home is surrounded by alligators and he keeps pigs outside. But the things you will see and witness in his house will reveal the true dark side of his character. When the player encounters Sonny, he's typically sitting on the porch of his house. Upon spotting you, Sonny will attempt to lure you inside. If you decide to follow him into the house, things take a disturbing turn. Sonny will strike you over the head with a hit so strong he knocks you unconscious, and it is heavily implied that the character is sexually assaulting you during this time. After regaining conscience, you will find yourself in Bayou NVA, surrounded by bones and remains of others who fell victims of Sonny. Additionally, besides feeling dirty, your money has also been stolen. If you decide to take revenge and choose to return to Sonny's back shack, he will be alarmed and retreating into his house, where he barricaded the door. If you choose to kill him, you will find things like a pack of cigarettes and a health cure. In terms of personality, Sonny presents himself as a friendly and welcoming individual, offering shelter to travelers in the swampy wilderness. However, this demeanor is a facade, as he is revealed to be a sadistic predator who preys on those who let their guard down. He stuns his victims with a twisted form of love before assaulting them. The presence of chains and restraints around his bed strongly suggests history of his violent acts. That's a creepy thing to end the layer. Now, let's jump to the last layer of this chart. I just want to stop the video here for a second and thank you for watching this video until this part. I'm really trying my best to give you long and quality videos every week, and it really drains every bit of my energy. So if you find this video any good, consider liking the video or dropping just a comment. And if you want to help me even a bit more, you can consider joining my Patreon or my YouTube membership program. I have added extra perks for you, so I will always keep you updated of what's going on. You will get the thumbnails before the video comes out, and you will get the videos also early. And the lowest tier is just $1 per month. But remember, this is only optional and if you're able. Now enjoy the last layer of the creepy Easter egg iceberg chart.
Layer 7. PT, Lisa following you.
This is a great Easter egg if you didn't know. I already told you a few things about PT until now. After you succeed to break out of the viewpoint of the character by doing some hacking, let's say, you will discover that Lisa is following you the whole time, which really results that the game is even more scary than initially. So that gut feeling you had that she's always near you and breathing down your neck was actually accurate.
Far Cry 5 radio broadcasts.
This is about cryptic messages which can be heard in radio stations in Far Cry 5. While driving around long enough in the northern section of the game's map, sometimes you will hear strange audio from your car's radio. The station consists mostly of static, but there are some muffled noises and screams. There is seemingly no pattern from where and when the strange station can be heard. As of yet, no official word has been given explaining the reason behind this morbid Easter egg.
Stardew Valley, a rare alien event.
Stardew Valley is just an awesome farming simulator game. It's known for its enchanting and mysterious elements, such as the Junimo forest spirits and elusive wizard in the forest tower. However, one of the most interesting events we need to address, which hints at the presence of aliens in the game. The first we need to address is the strange capsule mystery. Stardew Valley is filled with mysteries, and one of the most mysterious things is the strange capsule event. The game's creator, Eric Concrete A. Barone, has remained cryptic about the origin of the strange capsule and whether it confirms the existence of aliens in Valley. This event is occasionally rare, with only 0.8% chance of occurring each in-game night. You will receive a message, and I quote, "A strange sound was heard in the night," end quote. And you will then discover the strange capsule on a random previously empty title on the farm. This capsule contains something fleshy that moves inside. After approximately 3 in-game days, the capsule will break and become an empty capsule. Using the fairy dust item causes the capsule to break immediately. The empty capsule can be stored or displayed, but besides that it doesn't have any purpose. The strange capsule event can only occur once per save file, making it impossible to obtain more than one strange or empty capsule without modifying the game. After the strange capsule breaks, you may observe a mysterious short dark creature moving around various areas of Stardew Valley and the Pelican Town at night. Is this an alien or something else is a good question. It is most commonly seen near the bus stop, but also can appear behind certain houses or near the bridge leading to the beach. This creature is incredibly shy. Due to its dark coloration, some fans theorize a connection to Krobos, a shadow person who resides in the sewers beneath Pelican Town.
Harvest Moon 444.
Harvest Moon is such a great series, and I spent so many hours playing the GB and GBA games as a kid, on my PC and later on the PSP, and please don't judge me. So, looking at Friends of Mineral Town, there is a quite creepy discovery to be made. Watching the TV at 4:44 on any day will result in the game being frozen in a loop where the dialog box opens and closes forever. The only way to fix this is to roll the direction button in circle for some time and it will fix the problem, or you need to restart the game. What is creepy about this, in the original Japanese version this was not viewed as a glitch, it was put in the game to scare the player. In the Japanese culture, the number 4 is considered bad luck or a bad omen due to 4 and death having the same pronunciation. It is something similar like the belief in Western religions with the number 666 and its connection to the devil. Missing athletics team. In Red Dead Redemption 2, you saw that there are many mysteries and strange things occurring, but one of the game's most disturbing enigmas is the Blackwater Athletics team murder mystery, which involves uncovering the dark secrets of a serial killer. It all begins with a newspaper article in the Blackwater Ledger reporting the mysterious disappearance of the Blackwater Athletics team. Initially it was thought they were kidnapped by Native Americans. They proved the theory to be wrong. Venture west of the town and you will stumble upon a gruesome scene. The whole athletics team, still in their uniforms, buried in a mass grave. This dark tale is a chilling reference to the real-world Los Meneseros massacre, a tragic event involving a Colombian football team. But that's not all. As you play, you will discover 3 more murder sites throughout the American's Dream Strange mission. Places feature cryptic graffiti message hinting at a twisted scavenger hunt, and eventually you will encounter a map leading to the basement of Lucky's cabin. In that basement, you can confront Edmund Lowry Jr., the man behind the Blackwater Athletics team tragedy. More dismembered bodies and a massive knife awaits. Interacting with him will trigger a life or death situation. Yet Edmund's motivation remains shrouded in mystery. Even if you attempt to bring him to justice, he won't go quietly, forcing a deadly showdown. Clausen Rest adds a dark layer to Red Dead Redemption 2 immersive world, showcasing the game's commitment to storytelling and realism in the darkest corners.
Bully Crying Baby.
Another fine Easter egg from Rockstar. And if you missed out on Bully, please go to Steam, buy the game and give it a try because it's worth your while, trust me. So, what is the Crying Baby Easter egg about? If you head to the upper right part of the map, there is a back alley, and if you decide to enter it, after paying close attention, you will hear a baby crying. After digging in the game's file, you will also find a few more disturbing stuff besides the crying baby file. There are 3 audios named Domestic Fight. This is quite unsettling because there is no explanation of why is this in the game. It doesn't serve any purpose. Also, a question is, why was the baby crying and who recorded the cry? It is just very strange and definitely not fun.
Ben and Ed ARG.
This entry is quite fun and it's a deeper rabbit hole to dive in, which also deserves a proper video to cover the whole case, but let me explain you the Easter egg. Ben and Ed is a 3D platform game in which the player controls Ed the zombie, who is forced to participate in a grotesque game show called Run Dead, where you need to beat all the obstacles. and you will also need to save your best friend Ben. This game was quite popular with the Let's Play YouTubers. But after time, so YouTubers discover weird Easter eggs in the game. ARG is an alternative reality game which uses the real world as a platform and employs transmedia storytelling to deliver a story that may be altered by players' ideas or actions. The game has also some creepy Easter eggs, which links to the reference of the Zelda creepypasta about the drowning boy, but also an Easter egg which was a cryptic message that would lead you to a Facebook page in which you can see a bunch of random pictures that seem totally weird and did not have anything in common. After analyzing the pictures, you will discover many strange things and even a creature. The game has also a strange part where you play a zombie ad and where you somehow need to reach the end, but the game would crash. But before that, you will see some quite disturbing stuff, screams, but also GPS coordinates which lead to Essen, Germany, which is strangely the location of the developers. A Spanish YouTuber immediately jumped on a plane and traveled to Essen, Germany to find a hidden package with the coordinates provided, and he also got in contact with the developers to have an interview. Of course, they didn't know anything about the package, but somehow the package included an iPhone that belonged to one of them. But again, I will stop it here because I think this topic needs a separate video.
Nun Massacre Scream Origin.
If you didn't play Nun Massacre, it is a VHS PlayStation 1 like horror game you need to experience. We covered some of the Puppet Coma games on the surreal and weird Iceberg chart. The Nun Massacre is a quite good horror experience. The game really tries to give you a paranoia feeling because you really don't know what is going on and who is hunting you. But this is not a review of the game. We need to address the scream origin you can hear in the game. You will hear a static noise which can be unsettling, but also when the nun catches you, you will hear a scream. But this was not an actor. Oh no, my dear viewer. This was actually taken from a real 911 call by Ruth Price. She called 911 and reported that a man was breaking into her home. During the call, the man actually tried to break in, which resulted in her scream, and somehow this scream landed into a game's jump scare. What is so unsettling about this is that the scream isn't made up, but in reality the poor girl was screaming because she was in danger. A creepy Easter egg included in a creepy game.
I have no idea.
Red Dead Redemption 2 Clauson's Rest.
The final entry of this Iceberg chart is Clauson's Rest, which is a hut located in Grizzly's West Umbrino. There is a sad story hidden behind the doors of this little cabin. It appears that two young residents of the cabin, which bodies you can find near the bed, died either of starvation or dehydration. Besides the table you can find a letter titled "A Letter to Glenn and Eddie from Mama," in which the mother explains to her sons that she has located this man and is getting our money back, and instructions to keep the door locked no matter who knocks. She tells the boys there is enough food and drinks for 4 days, but she should be at home next night. Since the boys are dead when you find them, it hints that something happened to their mother. And now I will read you the short note which can be found in the cabin. Glenn and Eddie, I am on the way to find this man and get our money back. The doors are locked and the windows are boarded up. Promise me you won't let anyone in who comes knocking, even if you think you know them. You have enough food and water for 4 days, but I should be back by tomorrow evening at the latest. Practice reading and writing for me as long as possible. With all your love, Mom. And this sad story marks the end of this video. So congrats, you completed watching the creepy Easter egg Iceberg chart. Because Halloween is knocking on the door, I think my next video will be also horror based. So if you have any suggestion about the Iceberg chart or a topic, just comment down below. And once again, if you find this video any good, remember to hit that like button, consider subscribing and joining my Patreon or YouTube membership program. That's all from me now. and I hope I will see you in the next one. Bye.